Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And this is Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're with us. We've got another great show lined up for you today. Of course, we've got music industry news, a little bit of beats by yours truly sprinkled in throughout. And then you want to let them know who our special guest is today?
Oh, man, we've got a whole lot going on today. The one and only, hailing out of Colorado by way of the ATL, is the one and only DIJ Sparkx from Sparkx Radio Network. And he's got his partner with him, the CEO of the new record label. And so we're going to cover all of that. So, hey, you guys need to stick and stay for this vital information that we're about to bring very shortly.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning. One more time this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are on the globe, we're glad to be right here with you one more again on Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're right here. I'm Breezy Gipson. Achickwitbeatz is right around the corner. And so on this edition, we are really and truly pleased because we've got not one, but two fantastic gentlemen that have a big story to share with all of you from Sea to Shining Sea and beyond. And without any further ado, we're going to bring onto our show, let me introduce the one and only DIJ Sparkx from Sparkx Radio. And
yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Good deal. All right. And so we're glad to have you this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are located around the world. And with us, let's go ahead on and introduce our established guests. They've got a big story to share. The one and only DIJ Sparkx from Sparkx Radio, TV, Global. And also along with him is the one and only president of B.S.E, Mr. Lou Humphreys. Gentlemen, welcome to our show.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, and so DJ Sparkx, share a little bit about who you are, what you got going on, and your established guest, and because our listeners are really, really ready to hear all and see all of this too.
All right. Well, of course, you guys are on my platform, Sparkx Radio, and now Sparkx TV as well. And I am recently, the vice president of operations for B.S.E Recordings. With collaboration with Mr. Lou Humphreys there. I have a amazing platform, radio and TV, over few million listeners on the radio, and also I have over few million viewers on the television program Sparkx TV as well. I do quite a few things, a lot of stuff in the community, a lot of concerts, a lot of venues that I go to and help out folks in the community, Black Arts Festivals, Juneteenths, all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, you name it, I probably done it, or about to do it. You know what I mean? So I've been doing this for about 26 years now. I started off as a engineering in Atlanta. Did the Kings of Crunk album with Lil Jon. Won a Grammy for that.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Been doing.
Yes, right. yes. And so
now we'll get another Grammy.
I have to defer, because with this environment, we always defer to Achickwitbeatz since she's a lady and we're cordial. And so, Achickwitbeatz, you've got questions for DIJ Sparkx?
I mean, so many. He just so casually dropped all that good stuff that he's doing in the community and all those accomplishments. I guess what inspires you to be able to pay it forward and make sure that you're there to support the community on top of everything else that you're doing?
Well, somebody did it for me. I started off, I was homeless for a while, a few years in the Atlanta area. And there was a church family that took me in, didn't know me at all. Went to a mission I was staying at, took me in, bought me a tower for my birthday, empty tower. Where I can build my computer, and I built computer parts from knowledge that I had from going to the library every day when I was homeless, just reading about computers. And once I got everything built, the family helping me out, get myself back on my feet, that inspired me to start Sparkx Radio. And then once I did, I got my first interview from DJ Wado, and the first person I interviewed was a 16-year-old kid by the name of Lecrae.
Wow.
And then he went on years later to become the first ever Christian hip hop that went #1 on Billboard. He was my very first interview when I had nothing and when I started Sparkx Radio. What I'm saying? 26 years ago.
That's phenomenal.
That's what inspired me to do everything, because a family took me in and didn't know me, took care of me, Christian family, still friends with them to this day, and they started my life within this music business. Gave me an opportunity.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. Oh my gosh. So now here we are in front of B.S.E. I mean, B.S.E recordings and your TV network and all kinds of things. And so, that's quite a story right there. Very heartwarming.
God is good, and I reiterate that God is good, because I could have been dead, you know what I'm saying, or doing any other things, but God saw fit for someone to come into my life and say, hey, let me help you out real quick. You know what I mean? And then once they did that, it changed my life.
Wow. Outstanding. And so now in your journey, though, now you've got a partner that is on here with us that is one of your close friends and somebody that you're blending with and you're exchanging ideas with and making some major moves.
Oh, absolutely.
So now who would that be?
That's Mr. Lou Humphreys right there. He is amazing gentleman. Brought me on to B.S.E recordings. I actually did an interview with one of his artists, Omar Wilson, and then we became good friends right after that. And then Lou was like, "Man, you're doing some things helping us out, so let me go ahead and get your position and put you on the team." You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, VP of operations. I was like, I'll take it. Let's go. Let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? So Lou is, I'll let him tell his story. You know what I'm saying? He is a individual that's doing some big things too.
Okay, Mr. Humphreys, are you with us?
I'm here.
Yes, sir. We'll share with our listeners. It's glad to have you here to share with our listeners a little bit about you and your background, and then we'll get into some other topics concerning B.S.E.
All right, well, no doubt. Well, first of all, I hail from the great state of Connecticut, where it's cold all the time and hardly warm. So kind of the way I got my roots into the business, I started out in a top 40 band, to be honest with you. And in that top 40 band was a gentleman by the name of Bernard Jackson, who became the lead singer for Surface, Shower Me With Your Love. And so we created one of the hottest top 40 bands in the area. And, as young kids and, early adults, you do it for as long as you can do it till you can't stand each other anymore and you move on. So eventually the band broke up, and, after having great success, Bernard went on to do his thing with Surface, and I went on to do my thing as a songwriter and producer, of which I got involved with a gentleman by the name of Paul Lawrence Jones, who wrote a lot of Freddie Jackson's hits, Melba Moore, Lilo Thomas, those type of gentlemen over there and women. And I ended up working with him for a while, and we ended up writing a song together called Do Me Again for Freddie Jackson, which was his last gold and platinum success. From there, I did a lot of writing and producing for acts like SWV and Norman Connors and Dia Davenport for the Brand New Heavies, and on and on and on and on. Lived out in LA for a while, lived in London for a while, lived in New York for a while, so while I was doing my thing. And then I had an epiphany. I don't know if it was the right one or the wrong one, but I decided to become the owner of a label. And started developing acts. Needless to say, I did not know what I was in for. I did not know how much work was involved. I did not understand the politics of the game. So there was a lot of things I didn't understand, but I had a passion and decided I was going to wing it and do what I had to do. So I built the label back in 2007, B.S.E Recordings. And one of the first acts I signed to that label were two, one a female, one a male. One was K-Mel's, and the second one was Erica Kane, spelled with an A. And then Erica went on to have great success with the label insofar as her music was probably on every reality show Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, and on and on and on. So she ended up getting, over 200 synchronization placements with, that whole VH1 family over there. So we had great success there. And then she went on to do a record with Brian McKnight, one of only a handful of females ever done a duet with Brian McKnight, which is called It's There. And that was successful. I then continued to start building the label. And of recent times, in the last 3 years or so, I added on Omar Wilson, who is a phenomenal R&B soul singer, who's done a lot of work with Justin Timberlake and other people. Went on to become a three-time Apollo winner and NAACP nominated artist. We presently have a record out with him that we did, which was called Secret Garden, originally done by Quincy Jones. People couldn't understand for the world and why the hell I would have tackled that. but I mean, trust me and believe, it was rough because before we ever got the song out the box, everybody was setting us up for failure. Mm-hmm. They did not understand, didn't want to hear it. So, I had an inner voice tell me, I have to do this, and I have to prove them all wrong, which it did. Thank God. Listen, you mess with something of that ilk, it can destroy you. Either can make you or destroy you instantly.
Yeah.
So we had great success with that. And we had great success with our rap artist T-Bars, who has a record coming out later in the year with J. Cole. Mm. And we were building at an exponential rate. Now, I had known that Sparkx had been interviewing a lot of our artists over the years. I didn't even know it because I never was directly in contact with them. I always had a go-between. Mm-hmm. And so finally, after removing the go-between, I realized Sparkx was always there in the background. Yep. So I said, you know what, check this out. It's time for me and this brother to connect.
Yep.
Sparkx is phenomenal. He does everything I can do. And I can be one man wearing 5,000 hats.
True that.
So I approached Sparkx. I said, hey, Sparkx, check this out. We need to do something together. Why don't you come on the label? Why don't you run the operations over here? And you free me up to do other things as far as the label's concerned. So it's what I did. Now the label has over 13 acts.
Wow.
We are making a lot of headway. We have a new release coming out in about 2 months with Erica Kane and Sean Stockman. They're doing a rendition of Atlantic Star's Always. Ooh. Bringing that back. We have releases coming out on a newly signed Tony Exum Jr., saxophonist, jazz artist, with Najee and the great Dana Hawkins, excellent drummer, world class. We have releases coming out on Dre Lane and Jake Campbell and hopefully Lenny Harrell soon. So we have a lot of stuff going on, guys. And we are about to make a serious mark in this industry like it's never been done before. And I might say this to you to end. Before we did Secret Garden, nobody was thinking about real R&B music and real singers. Mm-hmm. The minute we did Secret Garden and made it successful, here comes Bruno Mars and the rest of them. Isn't that funny?
Yep. Copycat.
That's not my story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, don't forget about Stephen Russell Hart's too.
Yes, on Stephen Russell Hart's as well, former lead singer, True.
Yep.
Well, I've already got a question. Got a question. When do you two gentlemen sleep?
Great question. Excellent question.
There isn't much time to sleep because if something ain't going on the West Coast, it's going on overseas. Yep. So sleep is at a premium these days. That's true.
That's true. That is true. You're right about that. We don't get a whole lot of time to rest at all.
I've met a lot of folks, but I don't believe I've met anyone, Achickwitbeatz, that is busier than these two gentlemen right here.
Yeah, I mean, the proof is right there. That's a lot going on. Like, you know, with all this wisdom that we have in this, you know, virtual room with us right now, with any listeners out there that are, you know, working towards trying to hit their career goals musically, what advice do you two have to offer them?
Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
Well, I would say the first advice would be is to have a heavy dose of reality.
Yep.
A lot of people, new people getting into the game, seems to think that it's all about your talent. They seem to think that to obtain the riches is instantaneous. That's the farthest thing from the truth.
Yep.
I'd say talent is about 20% of the game. Politics is about 60% of the game.
Yep.
And financing and having the wherewithal is the rest of the what's left over the 100.
Yep.
You must have a team behind you.
Absolutely.
You must be realistic. You must have a short, mid, and long-term plan of your expectations. Your grind in the beginning is seriously a grind. You're not going to make a whole lot of money coming out the box. Okay. But if you have a plan of attack and you stay true to that, and you got a good team, such as what we offer here at B.S.E Recordings, then your chances of obtaining those goals are very good.
Absolutely.
Very good. You've got to have your mind right at all times. Your will and your drive has to be at 10 at all times.
Absolutely.
Must be. And then you'll have a good chance of succeeding. We don't do things over here the traditional way. We don't buy our way to the top. You won't have enough money to do that because we're competing with the majors. So our situation is a grind on the ground every single day and a push to be heard and seen.
Absolutely. And I would add to that, you got to stay focused. You know what I'm saying? You got to maintain your focus at all times. You know, whatever vices that you may have coming into, you know, the record label or whatever, make sure that, you know, you keep those also intact, because, you know, in this music industry, as fast as you can rise, you can fall just as fast.
Yes.
So you got to make sure, you know, that you stay focused at all times in achieving your goals and achieving your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's not going to happen overnight like a lot of artists think it will be. You know, you get a record label, like, oh man, I'm finna be rich. I'm finna be, you know, I'm finna have a hit record and everything, man. You don't know what's going to be a hit, and you don't know when.
You don't know what's going to be a hit. And you have to understand, an independent is sort of like Tesla is to Ford.
Yep.
Ford don't want Tesla around.
Yep.
Yeah, General Motors don't want Tesla around. You better believe it.
That's right.
Well, the major labels don't want us around either.
That's right.
And they're going to do everything in their power to make certain that we go away.
That's right.
The only difference between us and a major label, we call our own shots, we set our own direction, and we can't be stopped as long as there's free speech and the ability to move around in this country the way it is.
Absolutely.
But with us, if you reach where you're trying to go, the success is that much more greater.
That's right. Because you actually truly earned it. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. All that game just, giving out. I hope y'all absorbing it to all the listeners out there, because, man, just impactful.
It really is. Truly is. Okay, so now there's a two-way door. Okay, can you share with our listeners and viewers that two-way door as far as aspiring artists that are out there? Share with what you look for, but then on the other hand, share what they need to do to connect with you, just to see if they are at a specific label. I mean, at a specific level. Okay, so can you share with that, talk about that a little bit?
All right, you can go ahead and take that one first, Lou, and I'll jump on you.
Well, I would say the most important thing is your mind has to be right.
That's right.
I can't, Sparkx can't, B.S.E can't want your success more than you want it yourself.
That's right.
The least amount of impediments that one has as an aspiring artist, the more chances you're going to succeed. The more responsibilities in life you have, the chances of your succeeding is going to be more difficult because you have responsibilities that are outside of our purview.
Mm-hmm.
With us, we expect you to work twice as hard as we're going to work for you. If your head is not there, don't even come our way because it's too hard, it's too stressful, it's too expensive. But if you show the pedigree, the willingness, and the ability, talent-wise, we got your back.
Absolutely.
And
okay. Woo. That's power, Mr. Humphrey. That's power right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to reiterate off that, the grind is real. I mean, extremely real. So, like I say, that's one thing that we look for at B.S.E when we're looking into signing an artist, bringing an artist on to the label, because your grind got to be off the chain, like the young people say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be grinding harder than we gonna grind for you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just gonna make it work a little easier for us, because we already know, number one, you got your social media up. You know what I'm saying? You got your fan base already. You know what I'm saying? You got things in order. You got your mind set right. You're focused. You know what I'm saying? You're ready. You know a little bit about, the business of music. And that's something very important that I try to teach everybody that, I've been working with over the years, teaching them a little bit about the business of music, because the artists don't really understand it. They don't know it. You know what I'm saying? They go in and just want to do music, want to record, want to get rich. But you got to have your mind right. You got to know a little bit about the business as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I call it the music business. They don't just call it the music. It's called the business. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well, to our listeners, if you just joined, oh my gosh, you're listening to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson right here globally. Now, Achickwitbeatz, I know you got a question, so I'm going to go.
Man. Honestly, I just been sitting here absorbing everything. Like, it's just so much knowledge and information and wisdom in the room. It's just exciting, almost overwhelming in a good way. But one thing I kind of thought about what you mentioned, DJ Sparkx, about vices. And that's something that a lot of people don't really want to talk about, but it does set a lot of people back, especially like with the drive to do stuff. And so, you already kind of touched on it a little bit, but mental health is a very, very big part of this industry that kind of gets swept under the rug. But what advice do you have for, if you could dive in a little bit deeper about that for people who do have vices?
Because one of the things I did that a lot of people don't know, I did a lot of the unsungs for TV One, know. And if you think about all of the stories on Unsung when you're interviewing the artist, most labels don't have time to research, a lot of the artists personal, don't have the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? We know, okay, you got a talent, we want to sign you, you know what I'm saying? But then when an artist come in, it's their responsibility to handle their own vices, because with money comes problems. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to handle a lot of the issues that come with that. Because you think about it, I was doing the David Ruffin story, with the Motown and the Temptations. He had some vices that Berry Gordy didn't know about. And then it ended up ending his life and ending ultimately his career. And a lot of artists don't realize that. They get into the money, then they get into the drugs, and they get into the women, and all that stuff has a definite impact on your life, and has a definite impact on your career as an artist over time. And so I would give the best advice ever to any artist up and coming: make sure that you can handle, your vices when it comes to this music industry. Your mental health is very important, because that plays into effect when the money comes into, money comes to you as well. Because, if you can't handle the mental issues that you got going on, how are you going to handle your finances and the vices that you have behind that? You know what I'm saying? So you got to be focused, number one, coming into this, because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I definitely been there. I had my vices was women. So I had a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Because when I had when I was interning in Atlanta and doing with Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and the Yin Yang Twins and all that, there was some things, I can't go into it on the air, but there was some issues that I had dealing with that, because with money, you got the power, and then comes the women, then comes the drugs, then comes the alcohol, all this stuff, and I was just a kid, so I didn't really know how to deal with those vices at all. But I thank God that I learned early, because now getting into the music business, I know how to handle my vices all day long. Get married before. And then you ain't got no problem, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a wife at home, you know what I'm saying?
I love it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, but like I say, the best advice I would give to the up and coming artists about handling your vices: make sure that your mindset is focused before you come into this music business, because like I say, the faster you rise, the harder you can fall.
Okay, so now with you, Mr. Humphreys, and you, DJ Sparkx, all right, now, as I mentioned, that's a two-way door. That doesn't mean that every artist has got an easy way in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So now, what would you say, what information would you give to artists that truly are on their grind, that can run that hurdle race, that need to get in touch with you and speak with you either through email or phone, or how's an artist go about that?
All right. Well, I would say they can send us an email. We have a email address, telephone number as well that they can get. They can contact me, telephone number. They can get in contact with me. If they truly on their grind, you know what I'm saying, I'll give that out, 720-523-3530. Once again, it's 720-523-3530. If they don't, if nobody answers, just leave a message or somebody can get back in contact with them, to check them out and everything like that. But like I say, they got to be really serious about their business, because we're going to check them out first, thoroughly, and make sure that, the music is what fits the format of the label. And then in me, I'm going to check into their personality a little bit deeper, because, we don't want any problems that can base a negative stain on the label and a negative stain on the artist later on.
Well, Achickwitbeatz, she and I already know that B.S.E playing. B.S.E recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Achickwitbeatz.
Yeah, for real. Get your stuff together before you reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to make sure we do a thorough check, because one thing that I pride myself on is that I'm into not only protecting the label's interest, but also protecting the artist in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you got to know a little bit more about the business, and then it goes to much more deeper than a lot of artists know. Because like I said, when I was doing those unsongs, and I seen some of my heroes, you know what I'm saying, some of the artists I grew up listening to and things of that nature, and then I seen how they were at the top of their game, and then later on in life they just fell and fell hard, and then a lot of them died, and then a lot of them are still in, rehabs or doing whatever, because nobody was there to teach them and guide them like I am for the artists that are coming up today, and try to help them understand how to maintain and how to stay focused, because that's one of the most important things. I mean, you can make all the money in the world, you know what I'm saying, but lose your soul, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
yes.
And that's real talk.
Well, let's say this, as the clock is staring us blatantly in the face, Mr. Lou Humphrey,
Yes,
and DJ Sparkx, without a doubt, you have brought a plethora of knowledge, a depth of information to our listeners, and that's what it's all about. And so, Achickwitbeatz, I would say that this might be step one or stage one in a series. Stage one in a series of interviews, and the door is open, the red carpet is out there. Come back anytime you want to help educate our listeners and aspiring artists out there from all kinds of different backgrounds. And so right now I'm going to turn it back over to Achickwitbeatz, and so we can like I say, the clock is staring us blatantly in the face, so we're going to have to cut down soon. So thank you two gentlemen from the bottom of my heart. Yes. And so Achickwitbeatz, you go ahead.
Thank you, just want to say, appreciate you coming on and everything that you shared. And we are running out of time, but I want to make sure that you both have the chance to, say whatever you want to say before we get ready to wind down.
All right, go ahead, Lou. You got some closing remarks?
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing to me is B.S.E Recordings as a label is here to give independents a platform, but give them a realistic platform. Not with bells and whistles, not with empty promises, not built on fantasies. This business is rewarding, can be, but this business can also be unforgiving. It just really depends on your realism in what you want out of it and how you come into it. And like Sparkx says, make certain your exit game is proper. Because most of the people that we know that's been in the game for a long time didn't have those things going in.
Yep.
Didn't understand why they were there. And then when they exited, they went right back to doing a 9 to 5.
Yep.
That is, I think, the most disappointing portion of it, this business, in that time is unforgiving and you can't get it back. So really make the best of it. I would say to all the inspiring artists out there, you can't obtain your dream, but obtain it right and be sincere and correct to yourself. And here's a platform here that should always entertain if you have your stuff together.
Okay, and Sparkx, what would you say?
All right, well, I want to thank you guys, number one, for coming on to my platform as a show. Can view you guys every Saturday Mountain Standard Time at 10 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate you guys for coming on to the platform. And now you guys are going to be on TV as well. So.
Thank you. Yeah,
no problem. Thank you guys so much. And guys, alongside B.S.E, you can also catch me KSPX Sparkx Radio. That's www.sparkx with an X, SPARKX Radio network.com. That's the website. And also Sparkx TV, which is on Roku TV and Amazon Fire Stick as well. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
It's really been royal.
Yes. Wow, that was really great to have them on. I really appreciate just being able to learn from them and hear their experiences. I mean, just very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, the beat rolls on and on and on, okay, and so music, it ain't stopping, okay, so here's other opportunities, and, these two gentlemen are making some big waves in what's going on with the music industry, the video industry, all kinds of the label industry, and so, we're glad that they're here to educate us as well as the listeners out there.
For sure, for sure. All right, we're going to take a really quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with music industry news right after this.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to begin with a fact. Whether in a small town like McAllen and the Rio Grande, or in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, it is business, big business.
All right, and we're back with music industry news. So many stories going on. I mean, it's been a really, really busy time. A lot of people have kind of hit the ground running in the new year. And plenty of stories to bring, but we'll do what we can to cipher through everything to make sure that you have the relevant information that's going to help you out and help you understand the music industry a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right, so first up, Bob Dylan joins the ranks of many legends who have sold their music catalog. So he sold it to Sony, and for this particular deal, they've also acquired the rights to multiple future new releases as well. So, it's been buzzing around the industry, although, the numbers haven't been disclosed, but they believe the deal was worth more than $150 million.
Well, the beat keeps rolling.
It does. And so if you remember recently, we shared that David Bowie, his estate had sold his catalog, and this is particularly the reason why. So it was added to the Peloton equipment. So now it's got exclusive remixes by popular DJs and all this stuff going on. So yeah, that was just earlier this month where they bought everything out for about $250 million. And now they're already seeking ways to be able to continue to get revenue off of his catalog. So we're kind of seeing it in place. So it was just announced recently, and now you're seeing why these companies are doing this, mainly because of all the licensing opportunities that exist. And so we're seeing that put into play right here.
So as I say, the beat keeps rolling.
Yes. And so, because of all these catalog stories and stuff that have been popping up, and, it's got people kind of talking, matter of fact, you had mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Breezy, like, okay, well, what happens, with all these purchases and stuff that they're doing with these copyrights? And so what they're calling that now is the financialization of music. And just for the record, if you type in financialization, your spell check will not like it, but it'll probably be officially added to the dictionary soon. But basically, they're saying that because of this, there's a potential for the need for perpetual copyright. So, typically, if somebody releases something, I believe the standard is somewhere around 100 years to where it becomes part of the public domain. And so now, with all these companies buying all these copyrights in order to be able to secure their investment for, a longer amount of time, there's a potential that they might start pushing for perpetual copyright licenses instead of letting things revert back to the public domain. So, it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens with that. Public domain is kind of vital for a lot of artists to be able to sample things without getting in trouble, so to speak. So if that kind of goes away, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, it's kind of it would be a loss for creativity, but it makes business sense from the label standpoint. What do you think about that?
Well, there's a lot going on, and especially, there's some rumblings and the men on the street, the ladies on the street, they're starting to rise up and ask, okay, well, all of these deals that are going through, okay, well, when are some of the heavy hitters from the hip hop or soul industry gonna come through, label category is gonna start coming through, and it's prosperity for everyone. So if it's gonna be prosperity for everyone, then hey, they're waiting to see too. So because that's just normal in life.
Yeah.
So that's just normal. So this music is a universal language. So hey, they're wondering when the universal wealth is going to start getting spread around into all the categories.
Right. And that's a really, really good point too, because in order for these deals to go through, these artists in their states have to actually own the master recordings, the rights to the copyrights. And so, hip hop has kind of notoriously been taken advantage of. R&B artists, these labels come to people who might, need something quick and a fix, and they don't really go through the contract as carefully as they should, and end up signing away more rights than they understand that they're signing away. And so, that's a really good point, because I think by the time, this starts hitting the ground and you start seeing more people complain about it, it's going to shed light on how unfairly certain genres are treated when it comes to that. So, I'm really glad you brought that up.
There you go. That's the growing word on the street. So, all we're doing is just passing it on. And, but yeah, that definitely is a growing word on the street, questioning, all right, just the origins, hey, if you're going to, like I said, and what they're saying is, if you're going to spread the wealth around, hey, spread it around the block, all the way around the block. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So, hint, make sure if you sign anything that you're not signing anything away that will keep you from getting these types of opportunities in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, we can always allude to the fact that, right here on our show, going way back to our humble beginnings, we always have stressed, to surround yourself. If you're an artist, you've got to surround yourself. You've got to surround yourself with capable people that can help you in various situations. It may not seem like much today, but see, down the road, that could turn into something really, really big or devastating. Okay. So you got to start right from the start, and surround yourself with capable and adequate people. Don't just go at it by yourself thinking that you can do it all, because that's a mistake right there.
Right. So true. And speaking of which, guess what? We got some good news for you. There's a free resource that you'll be able to take advantage of if you want to learn more about, the future of monetization in the music industry. So coming up, Sound Exchange and Music Business Association, which is referred to as Music Biz, B.I.Z., they present a 4-part event series. And so all of it's going to be virtual online. You'll be able to just register and attend. And so all of it's supposed to be about the future monetization in the music industry. So the events are going to have experts, visionaries, artists, and all this stuff to discuss the future live events, metaverse, and just basically trying to simplify the music business for you. How to manage your metadata. If you've been listening to the show, that's something that we know is important, and we've been trying to stress and make sure that that it's important as well. And also making sure that you're monetizing your music in emerging streaming platforms. It's another thing that we talk about on here often. Make sure that your music is where the people are. If it's not everywhere, then you're losing out on potential fans. So this 4-part series is going to kind of cover all that. All you have to do is register. Make sure that you check out the full press release on my blog at Achickwitbeatz.com. You'll be able to sign up there and all that good stuff. So I'm excited for it. I'm already registered for the first session, which kicks off next month.
Hey, man, don't hesitate. If that's the realm that you're in out there, listeners, hey, you better jump and jump fast.
Yeah, because, the industry, they like to keep things kind of quiet and confusing, so that way they can take more advantage of people if people don't understand what's going on. So every now and then these organizations put out these free resources, and it's important to try to snap it up anytime that you can. Oftentimes, if your schedule won't allow you attend, they'll send you, a playback link. So either way, make sure that you check it out. Free game is free game, right? I mean, that's valuable, especially in these days.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got to get it.
So, we keep talking about all the stuff that's going on, all these catalogs and stuff that are being brought up. And so now we're looking at all these sync companies that are popping up or merging, or, just all types of things happening. So Q Songs is a sync licensing company that has joined forces with Big Sync Music. So both of these companies are owned by distributor Songtrader. And so now they're just joining up all under the Big Sync Music name. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what those forces combined together officially will look like.
Nothing surprises me. There's, it's almost like there's people out there, they got these research teams. They're out there scouring everything that they can come up with to see, what sticks, so that, hey, let's ride with this, let's ride with that, let's ride with this. Okay, as long as it's got some money in there, let's roll,
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And, 'cause especially with the streaming payouts and stuff, the way that they are, sync licensing is a really key way for artists to be able to make money. So yeah, it's really interesting to see all this take place. I think a newish platform, Sync Floor, just popped up. So yeah, it's always kind of good to pay attention to see, just where the money's going, as you alluded to there.
That's right. That's right. And so if you've got your toe in the industry, it makes sense for you to investigate and keep your ears and eyes open, because you might find something that's just fit and tailored exactly for you. Mm-hmm. So keep those ears and eyes open, and you never know what you come up with.
Yep. All right. And lawsuits. Akon is being sued for $4 million by his former business partner. So his business partner says, hey, I helped launch a career, and you owe me at least, $750,000 out of the $3 million you promised me. But apparently this happened while Akon was under contract. And so he thought that once he left the label, that just kind of, I guess, dissipated what he had set up with his manager while he was there. And so the manager's saying, oh no, you still need to pay me. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Because, we were just talking about ways to make money in the industry. People are trying to make sure that they hit every piece, every dime that they get or that they've earned. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out and how that ruling appears, or if they reach a settlement.
Right. And ways to make money. I'd be remiss if I didn't add this on. Well, now lately, we're in the third year of a virus. It's been spreading around no matter what or where. Okay, so there are people in the music industry that are stepping forward, and some of them actually are coming across some very disparaging situations, aka Adele last weekend, when it turned out that her residency in Vegas had to be canceled because half of the crew and half of the people who are working with her and with the setup at the hotel, they've got the virus. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then just last night, the big announcement from Elton John, same thing. Not same thing, but he actually has come down with the virus. Okay, so big concert tour, so that's got put aside for the moment. But see, you have to really measure these things. What's most important, the money or yourself? The money or you? Okay, so I noticed that a lot of in businesses, period, around the world, they're stepping forward and having big conferences and so on and so forth and appearances. But yeah, that's fine. But my question is, if they're doing that, what steps are they taking to prevent and ensure that the people who are coming to attend these events, aka football, aka basketball, what steps are these arenas taking, or the promoters taking, to help ensure that the people who come to view these events can actually walk out of there safe, the same way they were before they arrived. And then there's also another aspect. What if somebody comes in there who's not safe themselves and they already know it? And see, we know that happens. And so a whole lot of people can walk out of there infected. So you just got to keep your eye and ear on that, because, you know, money is a lie, but money ain't everything. It's not worth more than a life. So just be cautious and inspect what you expect.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. You know, a recent figure came out that independent venues all across the U.S. are now saying that they're seeing no-show rates as high as 50%. So we had just shared a couple of weeks ago that some of the big acts were already seeing, you know, like 20% no-shows. So yeah, now all across the country, we're seeing these low turnouts. And so even though, you know, maybe 50% don't show up, you still got to keep the others that are there safe, just as you said, Breezy. And, you know, that's another big driving factor behind, you know, we keep hearing about metaverse every time you turn around. Matter of fact, iHeartMedia just announced that they plan to expand into the metaverse. But this gives people a way to be able to do these shows from a safe space, let their fans watch the shows from a safe place and still feel as if they're a part of it. So, you know, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of pushback about it. You know, there are people that are like, no, you know, these live music events are everything. This is what we need. And yes, you know, they are awesome, but, you know, it is a safe alternative that we may need to be embracing in the future. Doesn't mean that we can't ever go to live shows, but you know, during those times where it may be safest to just kind of stay away from large crowds, at least that'll still offer the artists the chance to be able to perform safely and let the fans see safely and still be able to make money from the show. So yeah, very, very great points that you brought up.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yeah. So just keep your eyes open, ears open. That's all. You know, protect yourself in every way you can.
Yes. Yep. And yeah, another lawsuit that looks like it might be happening. Jay-Z and Jonathan Mannion, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. My apologies if he's out there listening and I butchered it. But they were unable to reach a settlement over the reasonable doubt images that he took. And so now it's going to go to trial. It's looking like that's going to happen in July of this year. But Jay-Z claims that the photographer was exploiting his name and likeness without his permission. And so the photographer tried to get the claims dismissed in August, saying that, you know, hey, it's not fair. The claims, you know, I got the Copyright Act, I took the photos, I should be able to use it. And so I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out, because I think I kind of understand both sides, especially the photographers. So yeah, if you captured somebody's images at that time frame before, you know, you knew he was going to become who he is today, why wouldn't you be proud of that? Why wouldn't you want to let people know that, hey, I did this? So I mean, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Extremely interesting.
Yeah. So just something to kind of keep a heads up, you know, if we've got any photographers listening, that these are some of the things that could happen. And yeah, so, you know, I'm looking at the clock and it's almost time to kind of wind things down here. But yeah, so many stories buzzing all around. And always make sure that you check us out. If you're on Facebook, join our group to be able to check out some of these news stories as well.
Oh, yes. Over and over. And, you know, that setup where people can revisit. I mean, that's as cool as can be.
Yes. All right, and that wraps up this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you for tuning in and joining us. It's been fun. We love having you here with us as we do what we do every week.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, thanks again to DIJ Sparkx from Sparkx Radio and Global Radio and TV and all of that good stuff, and new label that he and his partner are releasing, or they actually is already on the way. And so but yeah, to you, the listener, you know, all around the globe, we thank you for just checking us out, keeping us going, giving us support and sending us smiles and all that kind of stuff. So we really appreciate that, and that helps fuel our fire. And don't forget to visit Achickwitbeatz.com on a regular basis, because Achickwitbeatz is she's posting all kinds of valid and valuable info for you. So don't forget that.
Thank you. All right. So, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.